new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and I might have to come up with a different introduction. But anyway, I'm very excited tonight. We have Jenny Lee, and we have also Miss Jeep. So we should have a very good show tonight, and I hope you're ready. And I will bring them on here. Let me bring on Jenny Lee.
Hey.
Welcome, Jenny.
How's it going?
Great. And then let me bring on Miss Jeep. Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks for having me.
okay, let's see. We got people in the chat already. So anyway, we were going to talk a little bit about Mr. Kash Patel, who was just recently confirmed by the Senate. I think it was 51-49 or something like that. But anyway, we can take off from there, or you wanted to
Take off from there.
cover that, Jenny. So
I've been a big fan of Mr. Kash because I knew that he was going to be the wrecking ball and come in with just ripping off the Band-Aid and just staying focused on the task that needs to be done. So, it's the whole process. You're going to jail, and this is where we get to the point of fuck around and find out. Well, don't be surprised tomorrow morning, because these people, this administration does not stop at night to work. They don't go from 9 to 5. So tomorrow I'll just expect.
he's going to hit the ground running,
I think
correct?
he's gonna
Just
hit
like
the night
Trump
running. So he'll
did.
have a list that he's gonna, and I think Trump gave him a list to start on, and I think he's going after it. This is what I'm looking for. The states. He's got to start annihilating the states. He's got to start annihilating the people, Congress of the states that have been pay to play, and then the media. I think the media, he's lining them up to take them down for the pay to play too. So it's all going to be shown in the light. That's what I think it's happening. So those are the two things. This is a board game of chess, and Elon Musk is all set in the direction he needs. Now we got Kash in the direction. So you got all your guards up where they need to be so they can go in for the kill shot, and that's the whole thing. So they have no outlet to play any of their games they have had in the past. Now it's just annihilation, annihilation, annihilation. Dismantle.
People are so ready. Yeah. They are so ready.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's exciting. It really is. Good things are coming, and it's coming soon. Go ahead.
So if you're seeing, this is the thing, we want to see it statewide in states where things are starting to crumble and go down. And that's the whole thing. You got people on the run. I think some of these airplanes that are falling are because people are trying to run also. I mean, they're just giving them no choice. I mean, that's the whole thing that's going to be in this process. They think there's going to be an escape issue, that they're going to be able to escape, and they're not on this process of everything. It's all about annihilating. And
there's been blatant insubordination. I remember reading about the USDA woman. I don't remember her name, but she just refused to leave. I mean, some of them are saying no. They're just defying his orders.
It don't
That's
matter. They'll get drug
It's
out.
not going over very well either.
Yeah, they don't.
No.
It's that ego, that democratic ego, thinks they're somehow, because they've been taught that they're always going to win, and it's like, it's not going to happen anymore. You're going to be thrown out of the position, out of the situation. Even these judges that were trying to stop Trump,
Isn't that a
and
joke?
they're tapped. They're not human to understand what's going on. You're not a person of ultimate authority. You can be annihilated. You can be dismantled. You can be thrown out of the building. And I think I talked about that. I think I said some of the state, they're going to put locks on these buildings and lock them up, and they can't get in the buildings. That's what they don't want, because they haven't got their shit together enough to cover all their asses. That's what's happening. That's what they're freaking out. That's why they're not leaving, because there's evidence they have not covered their asses yet on.
They weren't able to run in there, get everything out of their office that they needed to protect themselves.
Right.
And so, they're going to jail, I'm afraid.
Yeah, they're going to jail. And they're going to be big fucking locks on the doors of these federal buildings, and they're going to lock them down.
Oh, wow.
And
Listen to that.
whether they have to guard them or what. And don't be surprised if they try to burn everything, too. They're like, well, if we can't get in there, let's burn the building down. So don't be surprised that happens either. Because, I mean, you have to understand, when you have nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, and all the evidence is in a building, they're like, if they get to that, we're done. What can we do? We can't get in the building. Okay, so let's... it's not like it's nothing new, because they have insurance frauds across the board with them anyway, the deep state. So it's nothing new for them to set a building on fire. I'm just saying. So they're trying to, in some way, in their mindset, to control the situation that they can't have control over no more.
Yippee! I don't know if you know anything about this. I haven't seen this. It says all 42 prisons in New York State are on strike. National Guard is everywhere. That's interesting. I didn't know anything about that, but
prison
we'll see how
systems, the guards are on strike.
I don't know why the guards would be on strike, but anyway.
Unless they were told to stand down.
Is that part of the Mason
Right.
system? The guard?
Yeah.
That's a very evil system, yes. The whole... They're going to find out it's a RICO operation between the courts, the cops, and the judges and prosecutors.
Oh, yeah. It's just a saturated pit.
Yes.
The whole... It needs to go...
All of the people in there were incarcerated under fraud, too.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it pays to play. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, so with the states, I want to you guys keep your eye on Minnesota. They're already starting with Elma or whatever her name is, removing them from Congress.
Oh, that's right. I saw that, Jenny. I saw that today.
That was the dirtiest one, or one of the dirtiest ones. So you're going to see that play out with Tampon Tim. It's going to be a saturated, dirty one. Once they get done with that, I mean, they should be locking that, putting a padlock on that. I'm just telling you, it's bad. So once that one's annihilated, they're going to go, to some of these others. California is basically crumbling at the seams of everything. I'm not really worried about California no more, because it's, it's on that dismantling phase of everything. But you got Colorado and Illinois. Those are some other dirty ones that are pretty bad. Virginia's pretty bad too. So, some of these states.
They're saying that all the correction officers are on strike. I don't know why they're on strike. They're pretty mean to inmates, from what I've heard from a lot of people. And they are...
Who knows? They might be pushing them to do something that they don't feel comfortable doing at all. Maybe that's... Yeah.
That could be.
Because I think, I don't know, I don't know the actual protocol for the prison systems, and I don't know if they're completely run by the state, but like I said, they're going to try to do anything they can to the very end.
Right.
Right.
I think that's a whole can of worms that hasn't even been opened yet, and I'm sure that it's full of fraud, abuse, trafficking funds, money laundering, you name it. It's a huge multi-billion-dollar operation. And the United States incarcerates more people than all other countries combined. And the only reason they would do that was because they're making money, and a lot of it.
Right.
That's the problem with everything being a business for profit instead of something for the people. And that's why it's being dismantled right now. And it's my understanding that right now the planet is being pummeled with photonic light from source. That's source light. And so that is going to have a profound impact on all of this. There'll be no more lying and hiding behind lies. It's all going to be exposed.
Yep, that's what Source says. I'm going to lead my people my way now. Where we tried it the other way, it's not going to work. I'll lead them to the light. So, we just got to see it for what it is now. And you guys have to understand that these chess pieces are in play now. And if they're in play, then everything is protected the way it needs to be protected. Now you're going to see, and I don't think it's going to be in the morning. I think it's going to start tonight. And you can feel the energy shifting and changing, gearing up for something to happen. So,
absolutely,
the state levels need to go down, and the pay to play the media, all channels up to, and they're going to have everything from your main media. I don't care if they're on Rumble. I don't care if they're on YouTube. They're going to look at all of those people, how they got paid, who was played to pay. That's the whole process of this. I said at the end, they're all going to know. It's all going to be evidence. All going to be right there in your face, being seen of what's really going on with who's got paid and who didn't, and how much they got paid. It's going to be all there, black and white. It's going to come.
And people are going to be shocked. That's what's really going to happen. Somebody here had some information. Eileen stated that a client who has a correction officer in the New York City, majority of the COs are on strike, bad condition, 36-hour shifts, no breaks. That's because they're going to have to let people go. They don't have the money to cover everything.
No.
Because it's an evil satanic
Well, maybe
system.
they're striking because they're not getting the money they used to get. The government's not giving it to them, shutting them down.
Yep. I don't think they'll keep working for nothing.
Oh, no. But I'm sure they'll go in and revamp and see who really belongs in there and who doesn't.
Now you're going to see in every corporation of the federal government, you're going to see your supervisors. And I'm sure the lower man has been trying to say that this is wrong, but the upper part of the government is the ones who are paid off. Those are the ones that got to go. Those are the ones that have to be dismantled. And then that lower level has probably witnessed a lot and seen a lot and will confess, but they probably haven't had anybody that listened to them. That's the whole thing. So I'm sure there's a ton of them out there, and they just need to, start to vent them through, find out the information they have. You're going to jail, you're going on a white bus, you're going to an island, period, across the board. So here we are. The smart thing is talking to the lower man on the pole, because I'm sure he's witnessed everything. Because the top man is all he's doing is taking cash. So you guys we're just at a 25% of tapping into what they're investigating. I saw a post like the Cancer Society hasn't cured cancer, and how much money laundering has gone through that. That needs to end too.
Yep.
Right.
That's been going on for a real long time. It's again, it's because of business for profit. Healthcare is for profit. They want to keep you sick because they make a profit on you being a regular consumer of
Right.
their stuff that
Right.
doesn't help you.
Right.
In fact, actually can make you worse. And people find that it's so hard to believe because these are people that you really had trust and faith in, that they were doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not.
Well, that's what we were programmed. We were programmed to understand that's what they were there for, to help, but they're really not.
Exactly.
And they do not care. I mean, just a number. That's all we are, a number, and they just want to see the numbers going up in their pockets. That's all they care about. And I know when I saw Kash, and he's just basically saying, and he kind of said something, the same thing Trump said. Basically, we're going to find out who you are, and then we're going to hunt your ass down, and we're going to corner you, and we're going to get you. There is no place to hide. So expect suicides to go up, especially government prior employees, that kind of stuff. Fires, expect fires to go up too, explosions to go up, because I'm telling you, at the very end of all this stuff being exposed, they're going to try some dirty tricks and try to hide evidence. It's just part of the game. So it's just, you better put your shield up because it's coming.
Right. And it's going to come fast and furious too, from what I understand or feel. And but it has to happen. It has to happen. And
another thing too is, if anybody's got any money in Bank of America, they need to get their money out now. And if they still have it, it should not be in there. That should be a bank you just do not go to, you do not access, you do not use. You're just done with it. So we can ask more questions this time.
Well, one of the things too that I was looking at is this planetary alignment that's coming up with the photon light coming in. We have the electromagnetism of the Earth mixing with these cosmic frequencies and the planetary alignments all at the same time. And then the new moon is going to create a huge shift. That's what I think is going to happen. And hopefully everybody, it's going to be for the better for everybody, but it might be rather hectic and crazy in the meantime.
Well, I think it will, but I've been getting these dreams of light in space. Like we see it dark and they're showing this ultimate light coming in, because we've been told what it needs to be, but light forming around that. So you need to be paying attention to that. And then water circulating, resurfacing. So expect to watch things come from the water. And the plates that I talk about, those plates creating an energy. So you got to keep your eyes in the sky and on the water. Both areas. Do not go in your house. If you got a camera, keep filming the stuff, because there's going to be some unusual stuff that's going to happen. Whatever you want to call it, plates or gates that are open. But I was picking up that a week ago that it needs to be open. It needs to be open. So that's the whole thing. So all this energy is flowing, and that's the whole process. I mean, everything on that side and this side is here to bear witness to what's going on at this time in this world. So it's important that you are sensing that, you're feeling that, you're watching everything. I mean, you guys, this is the thing I've been trying to tell people all day. 3D is gone. It does not exist. It's already gone. We're just not accepting that it's completely gone. Nothing of 3D is here anymore. Everything is being dismantled in front of you. So we are in a process of this lawless. We don't have the rules, all of that. They're implementing new stuff that we need, that's fairness. But the old stuff it's not even legal anymore. And the ones that thought they can give out those prosecutions, they can't even do it because they're illegal. So there has to be a flip coming to get into the republic and stay in that balance. Like I said, people are not going to know what to do until you give them guidelines and structures to go into. They need those new laws of understanding and structures and to follow those guidelines. And if you're leaving them wonder, you're crumbling one world, it's dismantling in front of you. It's you can see that it's been completely illegal forever, and it's just been criminals running it. So they're slowly, like I said, they're shifting. You guys notice that the crowd's starting to shift, starting to follow the warriors? I told you, it wasn't the fact that you had to bring it up. It's just they are going to start, they're tipping toeing, going the other direction. So now what's going to happen is that first line of fire, they got to come out with those guidelines. They got to come out with that structure. They got to show where the people can follow something that they can depend on for the structure. As soon as they build that, as soon as they show that and start to lead that, then people will start to see a consistency, a balance going in a direction. That's what they're needing right now. You want to know what people need? They need the structure. They need the door. They need to follow the new world and the where it's going and who's leading it. There needs to be more verification and showing that, because that's what the soul is looking for right now. You've got the left on that side. They know it's all crumbling, they know it's falling, and they're really paying attention to what's going on with us. They know we're right. They're not quite turning yet because they're nervous, because they are used to being told what to do. So in some way, they have to send in a form of guidelines for them to follow, to get that programming out of them. So when we shift that top line of people that have been up taking the knives and the shield and dealing with it on a daily basis, as soon as they shift, I guarantee you that back crowd of them are going to start to shift with it, because that's that sheep that are going to follow. They're not leaders, they're followers. Watch. It's coming.
Yep, I believe you're absolutely right on that, Jenny.
Yeah, it's just...
Oh. I was just seeing what else we have
Hopefully
here.
we'll see something.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, hopefully we'll.
Miss G?
I'm hoping we see something more, permanent for those people who need to see something, who need that guidance on Monday. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
So I want to talk about, as I said in previous shows, I talked about that to boost the economy, to put new money out there for change to come, they have to give money away. Don't think this is your tax money. This is coming from the DOGE. This is like a gift back to you. And everybody's like, well, who's going to pay for this? I'm like, stop thinking like that and start looking at it different ways.
Yes.
Please stop. So that's the programming. So
great point, Jenny. Great point.
You got to stimulate the economy. You got to put the money out. Like I said, they're going to be some type of stimulant they're going to put out. Now that was only a week that I've said about that, and then it's already out. So they're trying to put that out there. So you're going to put new type of technology, new type of funding, new type of ways. You have to give people money to get things stimulated. Okay. And this isn't just the last one. This is getting on that path of the golden age, getting this money. Do you understand? And you're seeing more and more. Okay. And then you're trusting it more, because this is a big thing for people to get, I say, that amount of money, but I would flip it in XRP is what I would do. I'm just saying. But the whole thing is this is about stimulating.
Dodge dividends. Yeah.
This is bringing in the new economy, stimulating in a certain way, keeping people satisfied that they see some type of effect. and that someone's listening to them and they see what they're going through, the pain, the suffering. They want to feel a relief a little bit. So this gives them that breath that they need. Remember, I talked about how, people, that again changes that conscience a little. Remember, it brings it down. The stress goes down a little. They're like, oh, they got money. That brings that energy down. We need that energy down, remember, for the light to shine in. Okay. So it's about giving. It's about love. It's about giving. So if you get that, everybody gets that in the United States, and you start to feel that starts a process. That's what we need. We just need it at a starting point of humanity. Do it. Give it back to the people, right?
Right.
Because they're
Exactly.
the ones who blood, sweat, and tears, right?
Suffered.
Give it back. Flip the table, as I say. So this needs to happen to get that energy flowing. And then after this first round happens, then they'll expect, for something else to come, and they're going to trust it more. And this is how you got to get us going into higher technology and advancement and all that. You've got to get into a process where they can start trusting it. You know what I'm saying? And seeing consistency and not being that stressful situation. The medical field is dismantling. The pharmaceuticals dismantling. Everything's dismantling around you, and they're still trying to hold on to a 3D concept. It's not there no more. It's not there. There's bigger things coming in, and bigger energy.
Much better things.
Right. So that's the whole thing. How do you, and just the United States, to bring in a calmness with all of them getting that money? There's a calmness that comes. But it's also about the soul feeling valued enough that it gets things provided for just a break, so we can shift, because we still have a lot of work to do to shift the rest. Because the United States starts, then you're going to see these other countries are going to start following the same example. So the other countries are not out. We're just getting, the United States is the big one. And I already see Putin in line, seeing that effect that he works with Trump on certain things. And you're seeing that balance come back, because Spirit said, keep an eye on Putin, the move that he's making, what he's going to do too. You're going to see another expression come from that side of it too. These 4 regions that are going to come in, or you're going to see a chain effect on both ends, because it's not one on top of the other doing better. It's, looking at the people, giving the people back what they need. That's the whole process. So that's why I'm saying paying attention to what's happening in our oceans, what's happening above. What are they doing? How are they leading? Are they leading with greed? Or are they leading with abundance and gratitude? And I want to take care of humanity. That's what you need to look at now.
That's critical. That's what got us in trouble in the first place. But some people were so good at play acting, shall we say, that they fooled us. But with the energies that are coming in,
right,
it won't be possible.
Right.
We're being activated and changed internally as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that's what Spirit said. They said the warriors from the past are here. The angelic presence that were once here, they are here again. And I mean, my group went through an activation mode. They felt it. It's here. It's not as hard as we're thinking it is. It's coming. It's everything in the higher technology is an easier flip and an easier situation. We just are so used. I'm telling you, once that media goes down, it's going to flow better, because that old programming just needs to be done. When you start to bring in new media and start to show new things and implement things on a positive note of things, positive energy, positive aspect, right then they're absorbing that in. Okay, they're absorbing that energy in, and then they're going to start to ride that frequency of light and forgiveness and abundance and helping each other. That's all they got to do. They got to flip the media, get the negative out of the way, put them in a positive aspect, start showing that, and it's going to flip the mindset. That's the whole thing. This Earth's mindset has to flip. It has to flip to a positive. We got to get out of the negative. That's the whole thing. And the only ones that are holding anybody right now that is feeding the fear is paid to play. I don't care if they're on YouTube. I don't care if they're on Rumble. I don't care if they're on X. I don't care. They are paying to play. Right now, because you can feel that energy that we have access to pull that enlightenment in, that love in, that abundance in, all this. It's all here. And so all this whole chess game is lined up. It's lined up. Kash was that last area, but it's the one that puts the hammer down. Okay. And once that hits, there's no entry way for these people to get through the door. And they had to line that up, but you also had to witness and see it too. It was important. And that's the whole thing about this is it's a game of chess. Everybody's played their part and done, but now we're down to the negative thoughts, thinking, uncaring, all this stuff. It's got to flip. How is it going to flip overnight? Change the media overnight. Dismantle who they paid to play. You got to do that. You've got to get that energy to flip. You've got to start putting the good media out there and flipping that energy, because they're going to follow the light. They're not going to follow the negative. Once they see a bright light that's good and people feel nourished by it and they're getting positive by it, they're going to follow that. Just like I said, they're going to follow those warriors into the light. That's the whole thing about this.
Okay. Somebody asked a question of you here back a little ways, and I'm trying to find. Oh, here it is. I don't know if you know about David Icke. It says, why do you think David Icke is so anti-Trump and anti-Musk? I assume.
Pay to play.
I didn't know he was.
There's still many out there. You can put one in a good position, in a very good position, and you can sit them in that position, and you don't know right now. You don't know if they are the real person or they are not the real person. So when we get out of that concept and you keep thinking that's the real person, no, it's not. It's not. So you have to understand, are they part of this process? And that's the thing. If you're hearing that, turn it off. Because right now, the effect of Trump and Elon and all of them, they're excited for a reason. It's not a pull a rabbit out of a hat trick on the situation. They've been leading you. They've been leading the structure, going into the direction like Spirit says. We don't change. We're not going to do a 180. We're going to stay structured on the path what we need to complete. So the whole process is that's that light that's being formed going towards one direction, and the negative comes in and says, oh, no, you can't believe that. Just look at my face, pay attention to me, let's go this other direction. So, that's where you have to look at it. You got to look at the energy. You got to look where we're at on things. Now, what we've gone through the last 9 months, what we've gone through with energy, how it's coming into our system, how it's affecting us, how, yeah, you got the Schumann resonance changes, but you guys are getting downloads. You don't even know it. You're getting these 30-minute downloads, and then you're fine. We are all there. We're ready for this. We are at that point. But you still have these parasites that are put in front of you and have said, hey, we paid you to do this. Get out there, do your job, and confuse them and put them back in the negative. That's what you're seeing.
Yes, that's so true, Jen.
Do you see this abundance of light? You guys are not even paying attention. This is the thing people aren't paying attention. You're not paying attention to vibration. You're not paying attention to people or praying in a different way. They're grouping up in a natural way. People are supporting each other in a different way. They don't want that. They also don't want us to find what's under the Vatican. And what they've been doing under the Vatican is so evil, so demonic. And I don't talk about it. I've said it 1 to 2 times, is that cup that they all shared. And it was the most evil cup that they had. And they because it has to do with power and negativity and all that stuff. And there's so much stuff. You want to clear this world very quick? Annihilate that Vatican. Annihilate the whole building. Burn it. Sage it. I mean, I'm just telling you, that's your pit right there. That is the pit. So the whole thing, it's still fed by the evil, you know. So the whole thing, and they're still workers of that. And that's what they have to take down, annihilate them, all of it. But this is where the point is, once we're walking in that light, once we're staying in that light, once we're serving and doing this, we've got to keep moving. Don't look back at that crap that they're putting out there. Don't turn the other direction. Don't look at that accident. Keep going in the light and watching that. That's what's going on. Uh-oh. Gail.
We lost you again, Gail.
Sorry, I had myself muted. There was some noise outside here. Anyway, do you have to wait for us to close the deals on the media, or can Kash do it faster? We need it now.
I
think it's already happening.
The art of the deal on the situation is you got to understand that, like I said, these high mindset like Musk and Kash and all of them, this is the thing. They're 4 steps ahead. There's so many people that were born here to be in that mindset, to be ahead of this game on this process of things. They are enjoying and loving the reaction because they already know what they're going to do. Okay. Yes. It's strategizing 2 different forms in many ways. You got it from Barron Trump. You got, and just the presence of that. And he's affecting the younger crowd, and he's going to lead them into the future, I think. So, I mean, you got Kash, you got Elon Musk, who's just showing you there's Einsteins out there everywhere. I'm just telling you, and I'm using them. And Kash is just going to just pulverize them in truthness. That's the whole thing. So I'm just saying, you have to watch this out because it's coming down. It's not going to be drip, drip, drip. It's going to be hitting hard. So don't feel sorry for them when they get hit hard because they deserve it. I'm just telling you, let it come the way it needs to.
Someone says they're not seeing any changes to Big Pharma yet. I believe that our FK is planning on stopping all commercials for Big Pharma drugs.
Yeah, they are.
That'll be big. That never should have been allowed in the first place, but they own most of our politicians and lawmakers.
Exactly. Well, did. But they're not getting money no more.
Right.
Yeah, they run out of money to get that. So some of the things that they had people doing that they were paying them to do, don't get their money anymore. They're not going to want to be doing it anymore.
No, they're going to jail. So, I mean, so that's the whole process. This is a big, they're flushing the toilet is what they're doing. And they're doing a very good job. And there's nowhere they can exit or get out or do anything because, people are very upset because this is severe. I'm like, we've just started. You haven't seen severe, the way we have to handle certain things. It's going to get, and you're just going to have to hold the line. This is the part of why. And I don't even know, Jeep's like, I don't even know how I started. Hold the line, and it's just blew up. It comes out, guys. It's just funny, and then it goes here. So anyway, the thing is, you're in an exciting time to be here and witness and go through this. And all those people that stood up, black sheep, family, whatever, trust me, they're all eating crow now. They're starting to eat crow. They're not telling you, but they're going to be eating some crow. And you guys, having a friend that everybody thought was crazy, it's just like I say, it's completely normal to me. It's okay. So the thing is, you're starting to see this effect, this light effect, this movement of effect, this come together effect. The whole demonic side is completely dismantled. The ones that thought they were untouchable, their homes are falling in the ocean and crumbling. Their bank accounts are drained. They have no cars, and they're sitting in an island in a bunker, being ready to be trialed and convicted and hung. Nothing.
The mindset is changing of every man for himself to having your neighbor's back.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's what we need. That's the attitude you have to have with your brothers and sisters in the light, for sure.
Right. You guys got to start coming the burn, the crash of the whole reality is coming. It's going to hit hard. You're going to hear crying. You're going to hear moaning. You're going to hear people freaking out. You are the ones that are going to have to stand and strengthen that and make it easier. And in your cities, your societies, you just got to do that, because you're going to see these ones they're not even touch the reality of the things that have gone on the situation. And it's like I said, these smaller towns, wherever they are, they're not thinking like this. They're no one's thinking ahead of the process of this. The cops aren't, the local people aren't, because they're not in the mind frame of understanding that when this goes down, the smaller communities and stuff like that are going to need someone that has the knowledge of knowing. And those people are going to come and want to ask questions, and those are the people that need to stand up and talk to them and communicate with them. That is where I call it the podium of light. You're going to have to talk and communicate to these people, because you're not understanding the lost concept of how bad they're going to be in their reality. When that hits hard, I mean, they're going to hit hard. And then at some point they have to come out from that. And then we are that light that says, it's okay. Now change is coming. Let's show you the change. That's the whole thing. So, and that's the thing, I think, everybody's waiting, but they need to get their communities, their towns together and saying, hey, we have to get a group of awakening people to start to lead us, because they've already done the work. They already know where the positions is, and they need to start showing that in worldwide. Start making these communities, because the military can't do everything. So these ones that have had the knowledge and it was paid attention, there's a reason for that. And so if there's anything that anybody can do right now, is looking at those communities together and deciding what they can do when something happens in their towns, and saying, okay, we got to come together now. That's the whole thing that's important right now in the world.
You need to go out.
Gail's like, so it's something that anybody can contribute if they have the knowledge of knowing what's going on, because everybody is afraid to talk about it, to acknowledge it, because they're in a fear process already of not wanting to even understand. They don't even understand, how could the IRS be dismantled? That concept alone is freaking people out. They're like, do you understand how much you've been controlled and programmed? If you can't even get past that is illegal, and you just want to give to it because it controls you, confines you, contains you. That's the whole thing. That's why we need these people in these communities to start showing an effect and showing strength and giving some structure. It needs to be there. So that's what I would say on that process.
Okay, here's one for you. I already know the answer to this one, but you can. Your thoughts about the hold at Fort Knox? Is there, or manipulated, possibly more gold hidden, or could it affect financial markets like a crash?
I think it's there. I think they've always known it's been there, and they definitely weren't going to let anybody take it. I'm just telling you, yeah, it's there.
That's not what I've heard, but okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's several places they put it, but I'm just telling you, I don't.
They have the gold that Trump got back. I know
Right.
that, but I don't believe that it's in Fort Knox. I believe that they put it elsewhere. At least so they said. But you never know what's true and what's not true. Maybe they put it. They said something about preservation outside of Reno, Nevada. Well, maybe that's not true. Maybe it all is in Fort Knox. But there are others saying
Well, I've
that
heard
they
that
stole all the gold out of.
Texas and Nevada are two areas that have that. So you might be dealing with two different situations.
That's true.
So it's in a Fort Knox, just not in the one they're thinking about.
Right. It seems like everything gets hidden in the ground, right? Anything that we want to keep and contain it gets hidden in the ground. And you got to understand where the cabal was going, and everything was hidden. It was trying to hide everything in the ground because that's where they were going to go, and take everything with them. I'm just telling you, if I was me, I'd be looking in the ground, would not be looking on the surface like everything else.
I guess we sort of answered that one already. This is kind of interesting. There was another plane crash in Toronto. These never had so many plane crashes as they're having lately. I don't.
Well, I want you to think. I do believe it's people trying to escape too, and I do believe there's some stuff going on with that, and especially you guys look at the chain factor, what's going on. What do you think people? I mean, the negative is like, how do we get out of here? I'm just telling you. There's all kinds of situations that could happen, but they're going to try to run. What's left? I mean, it's just the whole process. I mean, it's kind of interesting how all these immigrants just disappeared. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't.
Not really.
Not really to me. So, it just makes you really understand what's really going to happen. What part of the play, how good are we in this process of it already? So I'm just saying the money's in the ground.
Yeah. Teresa mentioned hidden off planet. That I heard that at one point too. So I don't know. I don't have any.
So this is the one thing that I've said, that in the Holy Land that they have, and that's why they put all these in Israel. They have all these churches glopped on top of each other. There were healing pods underneath these cities and all this stuff, and there was gold, and they couldn't get it off this planet. They couldn't take it with them. And I'm just telling you, if there things they need to be digging up is underneath those churches in the Holy Land. It's piled up for a reason like that, So there's a lot of things, a lot of levels, a lot of knowledge, a lot of gold, different type of gold that looks different in the ground. And how come they couldn't take it? Because it's too big. It's huge. It can't. So there's more gold in this ground than we realize. It's everywhere. I believe it. So they're going to start really showing you to dig it up. I mean, they're just showing you a minimum and allowing you a minimum to dig it up, at the top of the surface of the ground and all that stuff, when there's a ton of it. Oceans, deserts. I mean, it's always been there. So,
well, we have a question here. Do we all need to exit out of the system, the strawman, legally ourselves, each individual, or will we be automatically a done deal when it's known that we are back to the republic again?
I think you still need to do the footleg, work on it and make sure. And when the list comes out, you need to be making sure it's done, everything's accordingly. I'm just telling you. Don't get into that where government will take care of it. You got to check on things and make sure things are done. So it's important. And then if you can help other people to figure that out and to check on that, that's a good thing too. We have to get off thinking that the government's doing everything. There's legwork we need to do ourselves and pay attention very clearly to what's going on.
I think people don't know what to do as part of the problem.
Exactly. As presenting a path to go that have structure and understanding and guidelines. That's what they need.
Right.
So if they start that, it's great.
It says Texas will play a major role in the restored republic. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, I believe, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this, I think they're going to have a big party out of Texas. I think there's a party coming that, worldwide on this process. It's going to be strong. I think Texas is going to be a strong area. It's the strength of this United States. Trust me, I went back. Am I moving to South Dakota? Am I leaving to Texas? Am I going to South Dakota? Am I going to Texas? I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But anyway, but the thing is, I believe there's a new celebration coming, and I believe it's going to be in Texas. I'm just saying, at the end of this, when everything ends, I mean, the people that are involved, the blood, sweat, and the tears over and over, it needs to be a different celebration that comes in, and those that really did this, which they already know, who really put their neck out all the time and was really sitting there serving the light all the time. So you're going to know who those are. I'm just saying there's a celebration coming. I sense it. Spirit's telling me.
Okay. I'm just checking for some other questions. Oh, here's somebody making a comment. Speaking of gold, that the Grand Canyon is full of gold. I know there were places in the Grand Canyon where they wouldn't allow people to go. Certain caves and certain. I didn't know there was gold there.
Even Jeep pulled it up tonight, and I was talking about the Ruby Lake, and she pulled up. What was it you got pulled up tonight on that Ruby?
Oh, goodness. Have it.
I'm going to go back to it. I mean, I think there's I keep getting, I'm doing these drawings on the green corridors, and everything's green, and all these pillars, and that have information, and walking down this path of this way. And I believe that our whole world is going to go into this, you want to call it a green fog, a green energy, a green process that's coming. I believe that's part of it. But also it always shows me on top of the pyramids, and that's part of it. It's other pyramids that this type of energy that's part of it too. So we're going back, we're realigning the powers that were in the past and getting back to that process too. Mm-hmm. So there's many different, go ahead, Jeep, with the.
That's okay. Yeah, the word that came up was the one word that said supernova diamond ruby. Again, you were mentioning that light. Supernova diamond ruby.
So when I talked about the red ruby, the lake, and all that stuff with the energy and how it'll go up out of the ground, it'll go in the sky, it'll make a circular motion. And so it's just part of this process that we're going through. I mean, and that's the whole thing. It's like we have to get behind everything and know, like, everything we've been taught has been a lie. We have to look at this from a clean slate. And what you see in the future, it's not unbelievable. It's just your mind has to discard the old programming. And we have to sit into this new energy and these new things that are happening to our world and the way it is, and these new colors and these new vibration, and these new sounds and frequency and change that's coming. All of it. And Hubble, it is. So this ruby process is, because I saw it in the water, it's moved in the water, it's moved to certain grounds. And then the thing was, it always showed me over Arizona, and this circulation moving over Arizona. They always said. So the Grand Canyon's connected to something with that process. So we're all gonna witness it. No one's gonna miss it.
What? I'm going to back you up there, Jenny. What did you see over Arizona? I'm interested.
Well, I did a
what
drawing
you
of
mean.
the Red Ruby Lake. First, they showed me it started in Antarctica, and then they said that it was and I got the picture on Instagram. But that it's an energy. The negative would have loved to get a hold of this. So there were several things. There was energy from it, and then it was worth a lot of value. So then they said that it basically has its own conscience, and then that would go into the sky. It would, and then you start seeing these red clouds form and then move, and then they showed me. They said when it comes into the States, it would be over Arizona, in a circular motion. So it's something that's of value and that's important, and it creates an energy, and it's nothing to fear, but it was something that the negative wanted to contain and take control of.
Interesting.
So that's a picture. And I've said people have seen it 100 times, and I had to draw it. So, and there's a lot of things in Antarctica that need to surface to the top. When we get down to the other side of the ice and what's going on there too.
Somebody's asking about the debt forgiveness. Proceed the stimulus check so people don't use it to pay off their debts.
So the thing is, I said there would be a stimulus coming. I hit that 5,000, but I'm like, I don't think so. I think it's going up. It doesn't sit right. There's an impact. So that stimulus, this is what I'm talking about, is just like, this is the stuff that you have to put out in the economy. So it stimulates the economy. People get used to doing a new process and all that stuff. But I think it's getting used to having more of this to come too, in the form that it's going to come in. And it's not going to be from taxes or the IRS or, all that cabalism. So, so you need to pay attention to the numbers of how the government's changing. I think they're going to get down to 14% of the government because that's all they needed. They didn't need any more. All those houses in Washington aren't going to get sold, I can tell you that. They might be taking possession of all of them. Yeah, I'm all about corruption. I still think they're going to run and then they're going to sell their house. Like, it's not going to happen. People are going to take that money back. So
there's a ton of houses for sale in Washington, D.C. area. It's not Washington, D.C. anymore. It's Washington.
Yeah, and that too. Say. And they've gotten a lot of attorneys because they're afraid they might go to jail. So, yeah.
Right.
Good. Mm-hmm. You're going to jail. So, yeah, I mean, we're just in this process of what we're dealing with. Yeah.
Somebody's asking about is the stimulus our QFS account or something else?
Well, you want to pay attention to what form it comes in and how it comes in. I think they pretty much know sending a check out doesn't do any good anymore because you don't know who's going to get it. So I think they're really going to be making sure that there's a certain way it gets to the right people. Of course, you've already seen the Social Security stuff and all that stuff, so it's not going to be formed in the same way. So,
Jenny, will there be guidelines for people like me who don't understand what you mean? Will we need birth certificates or other papers?
Okay, the guidelines, I think you have to have some type of certification of where you're originally from, or some type of proof in that way. But then with the new quantum system, it might already have all that information, because it's already going with voice frequency and all of that stuff already. I'm sure there's already, by your own, that's what with the technology. So I think there's higher technology already advanced into the process. So that's why I'm saying with the guidelines to see what they come out for how to certify that, how it's going to work. We're so used to that paperwork. And maybe there's a new system that's already implemented that already knows who you are and what's going on. We're not. We're still thinking paper is everything.
I would hope so, because there's so many people that, even like a lot of senior citizens who have no idea about any of this stuff. A lot of them still don't use computers. They don't know
That's
what
what
to
I'm saying.
do.
It has to be like the quantum system that I think already has all that information, already has the identification of you. And I don't think it's just because of your appearance, it's your voice, frequency, all that stuff. I just think there's a different, say, mothership behind it.
Here's a question. A friend keeps insisting that light workers or starseeds will be getting funds to work as ambassadors to help the normies when full disclosure comes. I've never heard this mentioned before. I haven't either, but that's interesting.
Oh, it's very true. I'll tell you why. Because I had this conversation with Spirit a long time ago, and they said to me, don't you think everything that you've done has been accounted for? Every thing that you've done to serve the light has been accounted for in every way. And I think I've told people, I said, okay, well, can I take that and just turn it into energy? I'll take the energy versus the money. But anyway, yeah, I do feel it's accounted for. I do.
I don't know if would you like to answer this question. The Jewish now build third temple in the making. Is the prophecy real?
No. Nope. That is not real, and I'm sure it'll be Gods of Rod will show you how unreal it'll be. So I think there's a choice made.
We're still going to see the rods of God, Jenny?
Rods of God.
Are you still getting that? We're going to see Are you still getting that we'll get the rods of God in certain satanic buildings and so on?
Yep.
Okay, here's an interesting one. Let's see. National Park Rangers being let go was on TikTok saying many portals will be left unattended and open, releasing Sasquatch and other entities will come into our reality that have been held at bay.
Because society has taught it in a bad way, in a negative way, and they've already been coming in and out. And so I think I talked about where you see animals and different types of beings coming to the streets. That's the whole thing, is nature and humans coming and living side by side in a different way. They have to surface. They have to come to the top of everything. They can't be in fear of the humans anymore, making stupid decisions. So I think there's a protector barrier of that, and how that's going to accumulate into a council and communication. And that's, here you go with your light workers again, your healers, of developing in that process of things. So everything's going to surface. And that's the thing. It's like when I teach my class, or spiritual class, I go, it doesn't matter if it's blue, green, gray, however you see it, just accept it for its original form. Anything that has a soul in this universe and decides to serve the light, it is in a positive way. It made a choice just like you did as a human to do it. So we have to look at things and doing it. And it's a soul that decides how it serves and goodness. So yeah.
Okay, another question. Are we still going to have an RV and Zimbon exchanges for humanitarian projects before the EBS or after?
Right after. I will tell you that, and this is what I talked to Jeep tonight, and I don't talk about the subject, but the med beds, I'm getting the med bed thing of an energy. And I won't usually talk about it, but I'm telling you, I feel something shifting. I can feel it. I'm hearing it. So that's going to come in more simplified than you think in the situation. So I'm feeling this energy shifting into that position. Like I said, the government will be that guardianship of that, and then powers. And this is the thing that people don't understand. I mean, certain things of those beds have certain frequencies, and there's not a human that can be around that to a certain degree of things. So whatever is going to assist in that process, um, um, it's going to happen. So I'm telling you, and I don't bring up the subject, but I feel it coming. I just can feel it. And it's not nothing that I've seen here. It's what I'm sensing.
I just put this up here. Eileen says, I know we don't know the answer, but what steps will they take to roll out Nasara? A lot of the points in Nasara are already in process.
Yeah. It's already in. That's the thing. We've already been going through the process. It's just they've done it so smoothly that we think because we need to be told. But if you're paying attention to what's going on, you can already tell that this is already being implemented. That's the whole thing. I mean, they're going to be so shocked at the end of this of how smooth everything went. And it was right under your noses being done. And
yeah, that's the part that's pretty amazing. It's been going on all along these whole past 4 years too. So it's
yes, it had to have, or they couldn't have run this fast.
No, I mean, and this is the thing too. And I'm going to say this, and this is the thing. I think Facebook's going down. And I really believe if anybody doesn't have an account on X, they need to do it now, because that's the future, how things are going to be presented there, news, everything's going to be at one source. And I'm like, I knew there's going to be one source, and I'm telling you, it's X. So you start slowly drifting towards X. Start getting your information on X. You know, the energy's better there. Everything's better there. So I'm just telling you that, you know, you're going to wake up one day and Facebook's not going to be there. So they just need to start moving that to another direction and start understanding, because that's where I get most the detailed information and stuff like that. I trust the sources that I've gone through on there, and I'm just telling you, get an account on X. It's not Twitter anymore. It's X. It's a different way of doing things.
Here's another question. Ismael Perez is making it sound like the EBS or 10-day lockdown is any day now. What do you think about that?
I don't believe there's going to be 10 days. I've already said that there's not going to be a 10-day process. So I go with no one knows the time or the hour or even the minute. So it will be, I'm sensing this part of Kash had to be implemented. You know, there's just these guardians that need to be in full effect. But there's a big process that has to happen when something completely crashes down and annihilates. You're going to know it by the energy, because there's going to be so much stuff happening. You know, you're going to know. You're like, it's happening now. I'm just telling you, it's not by a day or a clock or anything like that. It's an event. It's a trigger effect. And that has to do with the arrest that's coming. And then it's just going to go from there. So I don't put days. I don't put times on that, because Spirit goes, there's just not, we're not working in that concept of that process. So,
remember how they used to say the first arrest will be shocking? Do you know who that would be, Jenny?
yeah. It's going to show the Obama, the Clinton, and the Bidens.
Oh, you mean that they'll arrest all three of them? That'll be the.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Well, that would be rightly so, for sure. What about this one? Do you think there's only 144,000 souls here on Earth?
I'm going to repeat what Spirit said. We sent many, and not all made it. So there were many seated upon this planet, and we all were tested to a certain point of making a choice, and not all made it. But also with the 144, there is a backup behind us now. It's here in the presence, and the strong energy that makes sure everything's done. Whatever is left of them, they have their own. There's a backup system for that. So everyone was tested and put through the ringer in many tests, and not all made it.
Conspiratorial made a point. My mom's almost 94, and she's good on the computer and phone better than I, better than me. I'll laugh out loud. So we can't say that about everybody. It's not always just a matter of age.
No, absolutely not. I'm just saying out of my experience. I've worked with elderly and disabled in housing and such, and a lot of them there's a lot of people
I know that.
that need some help. But that's great. That's awesome that she can do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I agree. There are a lot of people I run into that sometimes just through my affiliate links. People would rather make a phone call than have to click on a computer link, kind of thing.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. I mean, things have changed so much on the whole process of things. So, yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, who knows what was going on? But we're at the time that we need to be here witnessing.
You think there'll be more giant sightings?
Well, I think they're a big part of everything coming out of the ground, coming out of the mountains, coming out of the sky. I mean, all of that hidden needs to be seen. And like I said, it doesn't matter the color, the size. It's just what is it serving? Is it serving the light? Then you should be judged for that. I'm just saying. And I talked about the giant sound in the sky, that you're going to hear and understand that. So, yeah. It wasn't a human that was ever going to wake them up, I can tell you that.
And someone is asking this. Will people receive money if they are on Social Security and not paying taxes?
Yes. Yes. Because it's about society. It's about humanity. That divide of putting people in different levels that they're not good enough, it's going to go away. It's about taking care of humanity.
What about inmates?
They're humanity. They're part of it.
Exactly. Let's see. Okay. Oh no, Conspiratory says there's so many reports of credit cards, student loans, and such disappearing.
Good.
I'll be happy when mine disappears.
Me too.
Another energy that will shift the planet with that alone. So, I mean, yeah.
It's yeah, exactly. We talked about that in that one Jubilee show that we did. How much of a upliftment that alone would be, because just not having that stress on you about how am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay that? Oh my God, I don't have enough. What am I going to do? Kind of thing.
Right.
What a relief. Okay. Let's see. I don't know about this. Listen to this one. Viviera says, same Fred said, med beds can't be rolled out in 3D. We have to be in 5D, and no one under 5D can work it. You have to have high vibration. If that's the case, will we get to 5D sooner than later?
Those med beds are not 3D. They are in a 5D. But we are we've been going through an upgrade already in this world. That's why the Schumann resonance and everything else that's been happening to us and how we've been feeling, the downloads we've been getting, we've been going through the upgrade already. So, I mean, that's the whole concept. The 3D is gone.
We're going to have, they're saying from that after the 24th, that's the end of the Mars retrograde, and there'll be a big energy flux as a result of that. And then there's a lot of, the photons coming from the central sun, which is all source light.
Right.
And that's got to affect people. It can't help but affect people. And the whole planet, for that matter, and what's going on and what's being said and what's happening. And that's why lies are not holding up anymore. Hidden things are not holding up anymore. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, here's another one. Here's something for you. Is there going to be a cloaked mothership that we should expect to be kept from us knowing?
I don't think so. I think there's no reason to hide it anymore. And I think they've been preparing you to see it anyway. So I don't think it might be cloaked if you're not paying attention, but I don't think they're trying to hide it anymore. And I think it's going to be more revealing soon.
Oh, this is interesting. Eileen says that I think Ishmael said Kash Patel is going to put out the Epstein list in 10 days. And as soon as that happens, EBS will happen.
I don't believe that's going to happen that way and that slowly. It's too long. They're expecting effect from him, and he knows it. So the effect's going to be pretty fast.
Back on this topic, saw some notes on this earlier. Trump said the immigrants were going to be sent back as soon as possible. It seems like they have really done a lot of that already.
Well, like they just disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
No, it doesn't. That makes me wonder if there ever were as many as they said there were.
Yeah.
But
we'll find out when the real news starts showing. That's why stay on X.
There's another one. When do the 17 cities start up?
I think they've already kind of started, with just where they're going to be isolated. And, it's kind of like the ground of the negative, thinking that they're going to keep those cities to themselves. And they're going to find out because you can't get anything shipped in. And people are going to starve. They can't get internet. They can't get food. They can't nothing. So it's just, they're going to try it. It's just not going to be successful.
Things are happening. Here's a couple of comments from people. Yesterday, electric bill came yesterday with a zero balance due, which was a nice surprise. That's interesting. I'm sure a lot of people would like to get an electric bill like that. And then somebody is saying that gas prices in Delaware were $2.66 a gallon. That's about what they are here. That's pretty cheap. And we won't forget about the children. Whiteheads have always been mindful of the children and the effects on them during this disclosure.
The number one priority. It always has been.
Right.
It always has been.
Here's another question. I feel uplifted when this dank weather warms up. What is up with the weather? Is the dark doing this?
Well, I'm tired of it because I got a lot of stuff to do and get done, and I can't. I only can do is pack in my house, but I cannot get things completely done. So yeah, I'm ready for a shift. So I'm expecting all of a sudden you go into this freezing temperature, and all of a sudden the shift of this warm weather to come in. So just I think it's coming.
I think so too, and I think someone just told me that next week sometime. I think it's supposed to, well, at least here, get up in the 70s, and right now it's been 25, and it was even less yesterday, in the teens, I believe. So that's quite a change. You go from even from 25 to 70. Oh, wow.
Yeah, because for humanity, we have a lot of stuff we need to start doing. So if they start funding, then we can start to get things rolling. We can't be, that's the whole thing. We got to get things going. So it's important. So
Yeah. Joe Blow says the med beds and children in military will be the first, and it's supposed to happen on March 15th, and in or around. I don't think we can ever be hard and fast on any particular date, because then it's always wrong.
yeah, exactly. Don't do the date. I just said with the energy, it's showing me.
Here's
So,
another question for you. It has been said that med beds will be released when the new free energy is released. Is this true?
well, I think it's all confined. It's because you got to look at the med beds, what it does, and then the free energy, what it does. So it gives the fruits to humanity. So yeah, it's everything's going to come together at once. And like they always said, what if this happens overnight? Yeah, I can see it happening that way. So, like I said, they're all in position, the ones they need to be in position at the right time. So I do feel that. We're almost coming to 8:30, so.
Okay. Here's another. They have a huge cave in the Grand Canyon where Egyptian artifacts were found. Yes, I've heard that before. They have that cave off limits. That's the one I was talking about, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome, though, to find that.
Yeah.
We're going to be digging in the ground for a while.
It's kind of in the, how the Grand Canyon is deep, right? This cave is in the middle of the deepness. I mean, it's not like you can just immediately access it from, it's a ways down.
Mhm.
I mean, it's difficult to even get to, let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But they stop you when you got there anyway. But we'll see. Okay, is this true, Jenny? So Jenny expects EBS to happen fast?
Yes.
You mean soon? Do you mean fast? When you say fast, do you mean soon?
Fast overnight. It's not going to be, everybody's going to be prepared. They're going to be like, we're in it. It's just one of those things. It's just, we've had enough time to be warned about it. But everything happens at 2 a.m. I'm just saying.
Somebody is saying that the $5,000 is way too low.
Yep.
I agree. I don't know. Maybe that's just a starting point, like you were saying earlier.
It is. I think it's a starting point. So, yeah, I mean, everything's good. So, you want to do the bell?
Oh, yeah, it's almost time, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me take this down. Okay. Where's my bell? Hang on a minute while I find my bell. Here it is. Okay, I got it. Golden bell for the children. 1 minute's worth. Okay, well, any finishing words, Miss Jeep or Jenny, whoever wants to go first?
Well, I mean, it's a bloody weekend, and you're going to see a lot of band-aids ripped off and a lot of things happening at a faster pace. So just be prepared for the faster pace to come in with a lot of more stuff. Everybody knows how to contact me for information, classes, readings. But we're in the days that we need to be here. So just expect, like I said, the sheep behind us that are confused, they were going to shift and they're going to start to follow. And when they do, just explain it to them.
Okay.
Find your
Miss Jeep.
conspiracy theorist friend, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess my thing, just stay in your heart space. Know that the good is here and it's going to keep happening. Stay in the heart.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be good.
Well, I'll just say, for one thing, depending on what happens in all these energetic shifts and everything, remember to breathe.
Exactly.
And stay in love, peace, joy, and health. And more important of all is truth.
Yeah, and I'm not expecting to get sleep for the next couple nights, and I expect to see a lot of people going to jail. And so I'm just expecting activity, sensing activity, feeling activity coming in. So
All right, everyone. I guess we'll call it a wrap for tonight, and we'll be here next week, and we'll see what energetic shifts are happening then. What's the date next Thursday?
It should be exciting.
Next Thursday would be the 27th. Ooh, that should
Yeah.
be interesting. We'll see what's happening then. So look for us next week, Thursday. We'll see where we're at, energetically speaking. And how many Band-Aids are laying around.
Right now, right? Exactly.
All right. Love and light, everyone. We'll see you soon again next week.
Take care.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers. Stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Rise up. Stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers. Finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can can rely